Hey, welcome back, everyone. I'm sitting down with
Spencer Richards.
Spencer Richards. So that's the second Richard on the podcast today. Are you related at all to
No,
Tyler?
I asked him earlier. No, we're not.
That's funny. Yeah, you guys, you just saw me at the same seat with Tyler Richards, this business scale guy who sold his business for $23 million. In this episode, we're going to talk about things like partnerships. How do you find the people you trust the most, and how do you trust them with your entire life, like your business, your personal name, your credibility? That's one thing about partnerships in general that I've learned. Credibility, you will mess everybody's name up if one person is a cancer to the name. So tell us a little bit about your business. First off, what services do you provide?
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah, so we're a residential rehabilitation agency, which basically means we work with adults with special needs. We help provide 24-hour supports and services for them. We help them with jobs, help them find counseling, help them basically live as independently as they possibly can. Now, obviously, independence looks different for every single person out there, and so it's a very tailored program that helps them where they're at get to the next best level.
Okay, so what's your website?
So it is. We're currently in the process. We're very new.
Oh, that's totally fine. Is there a better way to find you?
So right now, yeah, Instagram, Facebook.
What's the Instagram name?
So it's Idaho Residential Rehabilitation.
Okay, so
That's
for the whole
our name. Yeah.
state. So Idaho Residential Rehabilitation. I met this man right here at the Start Us With Stu retreat. A phenomenal retreat, 3-day retreat right here in Desert Color in St. George, Utah. Amazing place to be with even better people. So tell me a little bit about how, back us up to the partnership. What aligned in your life enough with your partner's life to make it worth going in business together, to where you knew, both of you knew, you would go way farther together than each of you could go alone?
Yeah, I love that. So my partner JD, we've known each other. We've worked around each other for about 8 years, and slowly we've built a really good relationship. And just this last year, we decided to go in business together, or officially start. I guess probably a year and a half ago is kind of when we started talking. And we both are very different. We both have very different personalities. He's the visionary. He's the one that he pushed me quite a bit in order to want to start our own. I've always been interested in doing that, but I've always been more the reserved and take calculated risk, and he's more of the risk taker. And I was like, hey, no, let's just do it. Let's make it happen. And so we really complement each other in a lot of ways. And it's been amazing, because I don't think myself could do it. I couldn't do it by myself. I don't have that personality to just jump off the ledge and hope for the best, where my partner, he is that way. And so I think we make a great combo. And like you said, a lot of trust goes into it. We've put our whole lives on hold, or we had to leave where we were, and we were both making decent money, and we had to completely stop that and just hope for the best.
Talk about what's scary. I've been talking to people about quitting your job. It's not right for everybody. First off, a job is a known uncomfort. It's known, you know how it feels, but you know it's uncomfortable. And people are fine at that, right? But there are a percentage of people that would rather face their fear and get through it and reach what their truly potential to do, like what their true potential is, after getting through there. So a lot of times we realize that what you want is just barely one step farther than what you didn't want to do, So when you talk about partnering, absolute critical to complement each other, right?
Yeah.
Especially, you can have two people with ADHD to partner as long as they both admit you have to hire somebody to pick up the slack,
Yeah.
But then you have to hire that same passion. And if you just partner with a guy that is way better at picking up the slack for someone with ADHD, like for example, myself, killer sales, but the back end, getting the paperwork right, I have to hire that out. And that's why I have a TC for real estate and a team behind me for the real estate stuff, a team behind me for construction. Everything I do has somebody in there that picks up the billings, the payroll, all that stuff. and I can't do that. I mean, I could do that, but I would have to expend more energy
Yeah.
doing that than just getting out there and selling more so that I can pay the wage of somebody else. Right. So walk me through this. When was the time? How long ago was the time that you fought with yourself about, do I really want to split all the profits, or should I just do it myself?
Yeah, and towards the early stages and even before then, while we were talking, that's always been a topic and a thought of, would it be better just do it on my own? And in some ways it could be easier, but there's so many ways that it would have been harder. It's so nice to have a partner that you trust, that you can share that burden. You have somebody that is sharing the exact same experience with you the entire time. You're not alone. Obviously there would be pros to doing it on your own, but again, sharing that, and I'm the kind of person, and JD's the same way, that we didn't get into this to make a ton of money. We're in it to make a difference, obviously make enough to provide for ourselves and our families, but to also help the individuals that we work with, because we feel like it's a very vulnerable community that needs a lot of support, and that's a lot of our reasons behind that. And we both are similar that way, where we care more about the people that we serve than the money that we make. And so for that reason alone, I'd much rather have a partner that feels that and that we can share those experiences with.
So the two main things that come up in my mind when I think partnerships is the biggest block that people stop at is, do I really want to share the money? Secondly, there's no way I can hire somebody that's as good at it as me. That's their opinion of the partnership. When people click into a team mindset, they don't care who owns the business anymore. They're trying to fit in where they optimize their value to society. And then the top people want some skin in the game. They want to say, hey, I want some ownership because I believe we will grow this together, and I want to win together. So a lot of times we talk about, hey, would you have and I know it sounds cliche, but would you rather have half of a nice big apple or an entire grape, or an entire blueberry?
Right.
It's like, you can grow something so much bigger with 2, 3, 4 people, and with 2, it's a perfect base to build out many. You're more than twice as likely to build out a 50-man team if there's 2 or 3 owners than you are if you have one person, right? And so, how long ago was that? 2 years ago when you clicked over, a year and a half ago?
A year and a half ago that it's kind of a long story, because we were both planning on buying into the place that we were working at.
Okay, so you were thinking partnerships before that. So how many years ago did you go from scared to partner to the realization that that's absolutely what to do?
So probably 3 years ago then.
Okay.
Because we were in the process for a couple years trying to.
So you got your mindset over it 3 years ago, and now you're bought in and you're slowly buying in more. And a year and a half after that, you partnered with somebody and have been going together for another year and a half. With the same common goals, realizing you complement each other. I'm assuming if I get him on here, that's gonna be great, but I'm assuming he also thinks you complement him.
I hope so.
Obviously, or you wouldn't be in business. But I think it's incredible. I think it's incredible to see teams build out, because like I said, you two will build a team exponentially faster than you would have ever built a team.
100%,
And that's incredible.
So I like what you said about skill sets, like focusing on what makes you special. Like you said, you're the sales guy, you're the face, like that's your specialty, and so it would be a waste of your time and talent to focus on the other things. And that's exactly how me and JD are, is we both have our niches and things that we're good at, and so we focus on those things, but collaborate on the things that are important and help build the business.
So I've seen it a lot where we have you get in a super warm conversation. I'm talking egos bashing, like, you don't bring enough value to this. This is what partnerships do. There will come those heads multiple times throughout the business of, I don't feel like you're picking up the slack. You've taken off so many sick days, I feel like I'm carrying the company. There's always those conversations. And that's after you already made some call it a mistake of trusting someone. But after you've turned over over the point of trusting someone with your personal credibility in society, by saying you partnered with them, right? You basically committed. And now you're like, it's all in. You gotta work together. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you've had hard conversations yet, but if you haven't had any, then you come out of the meeting obviously there's a short term, like, should I go do this myself? I'm a little bit frustrated, but how often do you have to sit down and realign with your partners to make sure that the trust is mutual and that you continue to compliment each other?
Yeah, I think it's important that if you're in a partnership that you communicate openly. And we've both had experiences where we've held things in longer than we should have, and we've been open about that, and we've tried to be really open and honest with each other. If we do feel like something that happened could have been done differently, we like to obviously sit with each other by ourselves, not in front of other people, obviously, and like to go over those things. And we talk very frequently about what our goals are, what our values are, and that really aligns us to what we really want.
Yeah.
Because we both have different ways of doing things, and a lot of times we have to both sit down and be like, all right, what's our end goal? How do we want to do this? What you're doing might not be the best right now, but we do want to do it that way, and
yeah,
that's been the best.
So I'm in a partnership, so I know that transparency is number one key to trust. Yeah. I don't care if you're trying to trust Joe Blow on the street. Yeah. Transparency. Use your blinker when you're turning. That's literally communication. You know, you could run people off the road all day, but if you use your blinker, it's like communicating. It's like saying, hey, I'm taking a turn. Hey, you know, I got to run home real quick. I had this happen. Hey, you know, those kind of things will change the life of partnerships. Like if you're able to text and say, bro, I just don't have it mentally right now. You know, give me a couple hours. Then he's not over there assuming that you're slacking or that you're partying or, you know, because all humans always jump to conclusions to fill 100%. Gaps of what they don't have, right? Whether you're a good human or a bad human, just depends how far you assume versus don't assume or whatever. Yeah. So transparency being amazing. One thing about partnerships that I've learned is give and take. It's the concept of give and take. I've thought about writing a book about it, but then I looked it up. There's a bunch of books on it. There's tons of education. ChatGPT will help you out with this, like anything like that. Give and take, so that it's just like supply and demand. Mm-hmm. If you give more than you take, the business will grow. And if the average person puts in more than average energy, your business will be above average. Yeah. And I wrote about this in my book. I said you cannot maintain maximum or above average health by eating the average diet. Yeah. You can't beat the morning rush of traffic by waking up at the average time, right? So yeah, it's been incredible. And yeah, is there anything else you want to mention about your partnership?
Just again, transparency, openness, relying on each other, even when you guys have differences. It's so important to remember that those differences is why you got together in the first place. Because sometimes in the thick of it, those can be really frustrating at times. But remembering your values and always remembering your end goals is so important.
If you had 3 things that people should run through their mind, because everything in life is a trade-off, but we're going to talk about quitting your job. 3 things. Mm-hmm. What do you think they should make sure before they quit their job? Do they need the net, or do they need to identify first if it's even right for them? What are 3 things you can do to identify if it's right for you?
Yeah, and one thing that we've learned about at this startup retreat that we're at is it's okay to be cautious. It's okay to look into your things, because a lot of entrepreneurs, the mindset is just jump into it. But somebody that was talking yesterday mentioned how for months and even months to a year, like on the side, extra hours after their normal job, they would do market research about what they want to go into, and how important that is to not just leave what you have behind. But one thing that he did mention is as soon as he figured out it was a good thing, that was the time to jump. That was the time to leave the safety net and to go all in.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool that he mentioned take your time. Like it's okay to do your research to make sure it's good, because if the demand's not there, it's not worth the time to do it.
Yeah, that was Wally, the Ninja Warrior guy.
Yeah,
he was talking yesterday about it. We learned a ton from Wally, #1 Ninja Warrior guy. You guys need to check out what he does. He's low key on social media, but he is a incredibly smart. He owns the biggest gym in the world for Ninja Warrior course. Tyler Richards talked about supply and demand, testing the market. We talked about it right here, literally 2 hours ago. So that is really incredible. So if that eliminates the business idea, like you said, do your research for the business idea. Which one should you do? How do you get over the mental block? How do you realize that worst case? Do you ever run worst case scenarios in your head?
All the time.
Okay, what's the worst case of quitting your job and jumping out there when everybody at your job will shun you from then on?
Worst case is I can't provide for my family.
No, that's not worst case because you can start on your new job.
Yeah, that's true.
But
again, there's just so many things that we think are worst case scenarios.
Exactly.
But the more you think about it and go through step by step, it's like, well, I can always find another 9 to 5. I can always do this. Like, always.
That is the answer I was prying out of you. That was so perfect. Most people think worst case is I die.
Yeah.
No one's dying. If you quit your job and your business fails, you're going to just start a new business and pay off the 20 grand debt.
Yeah.
You know, or even not start a new business. You can start a new job. Right? Worst case scenario is you have to humble yourself. Worst case is you humble yourself and sign up for a new job and put in another resume. And I know it's hard, like ego-wise, but I'm telling you, if you are not cut out for it, the best way to find out is to try it after educating you. Just like you said, market research, make sure you educate yourself on the business and then get started. But that is the best answer you could have said because that literally sparked what I was trying to add to this conversation. Worst case, you said you can't provide for your family. You're a full-grown man. You can just apply for another job and take care of your family. You know, so getting through that mental block, that's such a good idea actually. But I had one person said, I want to keep it okay with I want to make sure my employer likes me when I'm done. Do you feel like there's like a respectful way to quit?
I think so. There's always, again, transparency. As much as possible. Obviously, there's the risk of if you give a notice that they just let you go right then and there. But I think as much as possible, if you can give a notice. Because most employers can't expect you to be around forever, especially if you've been open about your intentions and they haven't followed through with some things on their end to go with those intentions. They can't expect you to wait around forever.
Yeah. How did you pay your bills right after you quit?
My savings.
You saved up some money.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I told someone the other day, I said save up 3 months of savings, and if you can't make money in 3 months, you are not cut out to be an entrepreneur. I'm sorry.
And that's when we started. Like, we were 3 or 4 months before we took a paycheck, and so you have to be willing to sacrifice, and that's sacrifice. You have to be willing to do that. And if you can't, then again, you're not cut out for it.
Sweet. All right, thank you so much for the time. Stay tuned for more, guys. Like I said, dropped a couple episodes with literally multi-millionaires and had a great conversation with them. Thank you.
Thanks.